The Stonecutter's Journey to Enlightenment. Long ago, in a quiet village nestled between rolling green mountains, there lived a humble stonecutter named Haru. Every day he would wake before the sun, walk to the mountain quarry, and chisel stone from the cliffs. His hands were rough, his muscles weary, and his back bent from years of toil. Yet no matter how hard he worked, he remained poor, and his life seemed small compared to those of the wealthy merchants, nobles, and warriors he saw passing through the village. One hot afternoon, as he wiped the sweat from his brow, Haru gazed down at the town below. He saw a wealthy merchant dressed in fine silk robes, walking under the shade of a parasol while servants carried heavy bundles for him. The merchant did not have to labor under the sun, nor did he worry about where his next meal would come from. Haru sighed. "Oh, how I wish I were a rich merchant instead of a poor stonecutter." To his astonishment, a powerful voice echoed from the sky. "Your wish is granted." Suddenly, Haru found himself dressed in rich silk, standing in the marketplace. Bags of gold coins jingled at his waist, and servants hurried to do his bidding. He was no longer a lowly stonecutter, he was a great merchant, respected by all. For a while he was happy. He traveled, traded, and grew even wealthier. But one day, as he walked through the town, he saw a grand procession. Soldiers in shining armor rode ahead. Banners fluttered, and behind them rode a powerful noble, a daimyo, a great lord of the land. As the people bowed in fear and respect, Haru realized that though he was rich, even he had to kneel before the daimyo. How powerful he must be. Even merchants must obey him. Oh, how I wish I were a daimyo. Again the voice echoed, "Your wish is granted." In an instant, Haru was no longer a merchant. He sat atop a great war horse clad in armor with soldiers marching at his command. People bowed low as he passed, and his word was law. For a time, he relished his new power. But one summer, a terrible heat wave swept through the land. His armor became unbearable under the blazing sun, and even his soldiers collapsed from exhaustion. Haru looked up and saw the sun shining above. Even a daimyo is powerless before the sun. The sun is the greatest of all. Oh, how I wish I were the sun. Once more the voice answered, "Your wish is granted." And so Haru became the sun. He blazed in the sky, pouring down light and heat upon the world. He shone on kings and peasants alike, untouchable and magnificent. But after some time, he noticed something strange. No matter how brightly he burned, there were times when his light was blocked by a dark, heavy presence. It was a cloud. The cloud floated lazily across the sky, indifferent to the sun's might, covering the land in cooling shade. "The cloud is stronger than the sun. Oh, how I wish I were a cloud." The voice echoed, "Your wish is granted." And so Haru became a great cloud stretching across the heavens. He poured rain upon the land, causing rivers to swell and fields to flood. He blotted out the sun and felt invincible. But then he noticed something. As he drifted over a great mountain, he found that no matter how much rain he poured, the mountain remained unmoved. It stood firm, untouched by wind or storm. "The mountain is stronger than anything. Oh, how I wish I were a mountain." The voice sighed, "Your wish is granted." And so Haru became a mighty mountain, immovable and eternal. He felt the weight of the sky upon his peaks, the rivers carving valleys at his feet, and yet he remained steadfast. For years he stood, thinking he had finally become the greatest force in the world. Until one day he felt something sharp, something persistent, something small but unrelenting, a stone cutter. With each strike of the chisel, a small piece of the mountain was carved away, and Haru, who had wished to be everything in the world, realized in that moment the one who held the power to shape the very mountains was a simple stone cutter, and so at last he understood. Reflection on the story. This Zen tale teaches us that true power is not in being something greater than we are, but in accepting and embracing who we are. Haru spent his life chasing status, power, and greatness, only to return to where he started. In the end, the stonecutter, the simplest, most overlooked figure, was the one who shaped the world. We often think happiness lies in something outside ourselves, wealth, power, influence. But Zen teaches that everything we seek is already within us.